be fine. So we got Casey with us. We got Edward with us. We might have some other join later. You know what? It'll be totally fine. It'll be totally fine. Edward says I have no idea what we're talking about. Edward, I'm going to open up with this.
All right.
The Corporation for Public Broadcasting, even though they bring in gazillions of dollars in donations, and they get about 10% of their funding from the federal government, says, F it, we quit because of that 10%. They can't find 10% in their budget to cut with all the bazillions of dollars they get in donations to run Daniel Tiger.
You know,
and propaganda.
Yeah, of course. But, not only do they get all that, over $1 billion a year, I think it's $1.5 billion, but they still get paid advertising on top of all that. What's the point? If you're getting advertising revenue, why are you getting tax dollars is what I want to know. But I know why, because of the propaganda. But, that's just crazy stupid. So, yeah, I tried to get rid of those guys long time ago, but the teachers union uses those that platform to blab we're teaching the younger peoples to be the rocket scientists of the future, which they're not. Have you seen these kids and what they know today? Are you kidding me? Anyways, don't get me going. We'll have a whole hour just dedicated to that. How's JC?
Edward, the most hilarious thing was Charles Schumer talking about how worried he was that rural Americans weren't going to be able to get their news because PBS was going to go under.
Yeah.
I mean,
rural Americans don't watch PBS or listen to NPR, period. And they have cell phones. Listen, even if they're poor rural Americans, there are benefit programs that get the low dollar cell phone plans or $0 cell phone plans. All of the crying from Chuck Schumer and from all of the others, Chuck you, Schumer. Like literally, like your argument is null because they don't watch PBS. They don't turn on NPR. They're living up in the mountains in Appalachia, the rural people, or they're out at the Ozarks, or they're in North Dakota. They don't listen to your crap. They don't.
No. I can hear
Trump is smart, but if he wanted to throw Elon a bone, you probably know where I'm going. He says, well, they didn't spend that 45 billion for rural broadband. How about we just buy all of them a Starlink and save 40 billion of the 45 and just hook them up right now and solve it and just friggin' send it to them. And if they want to hook it up, they can. If they don't want to hook it up, they can send it back. I mean, to me, that makes the kind of sense of colleges saying, hey, why are we forcing you to buy thousands of dollars worth of hardbound textbooks when it's all on the internet? Why in the world are any students being forced to purchase books that should be made available to them online? It's a complete waste, but it's also a sop to the lobbyists. And they say, well, your lobbyist is, well, okay, wait a minute. You're right. Musk is on our team, but you're ready to spend 45 billion and hook up no one. We're ready to spend 5 billion and hook up everyone. So are you really worried about hooking people up? Are you worried about jobs for your friends?
Hey, and the revenue with that's a big game there. So you're right in saying that. Absolutely.
It's bullshit.
Completely. Well, this so I was watching this today. It's a Friday. It was a pretty big news day. SpaceX successfully launched astronauts into space again. Congratulations to SpaceX team and Gwen Shotwell, the CEO of them. Oh, did you not know Elon Musk is not the CEO. You think he's the CEO of everything? No, 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 no. He's the primary investor. Gwen Shotwell, great job, Gwen Shotwell and team for successfully lifting the astronauts into low Earth orbit. They should be docking soon. And I'm just watching the news today, and I see that, right? I see the PBS calls it quits. Elon launches Gwen Shotwell launches
Yeah.
astronauts into space. There was so much cool stuff that happened today. I was like, what a great Friday. This is cool. Like, I
Yeah.
don't know why everybody's doom and gloom about whatever they were pissed off
You
about.
know why? You know why they're doom and gloom? They're doom and gloom because people like Nick want to talk about Epstein. And I mean,
Right.
I'm sorry, it's a dead letter. So what? I mean, if, we talked about this last time I was on, but Joe Biden trafficked 400,000 kids into the United States. You want to talk about child sex trafficking? You really want to go there, curmudgeons? How about
Yeah.
the
I hear you.
gay adoption? How about the gay surrogacy industry where children are bred to be abused by pedophiles and they pay for it? You want to talk about child
Yeah.
abuse?
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys really want to go there? Or do
I
you
don't
just
think.
want to focus on this one guy because you think you can get Trump?
Yeah. Yeah.
I
And I
mean,
think there's been far more evidence throughout the decades that they could have pointed towards, but they've just been overlooking it for whatever reason. I don't know, but I know up here there's been several cases they could have gone, but then again, with the RCMP being so corrupt and everything, of course we're not going to get to. Yeah, so you know where I'm going with that one, and the
hey,
same reason
Edward,
I think.
at least they broke through and declared they're going to recognize the Palestinian state.
You know what's so funny about that, JC? We were the first nation to vote Israel into a nation state back in 1948. And
You
then,
were the first colony.
well, yeah, very good. Still,
No, no,
With
no. Like
dominion,
because
with
people
dominion
get
status.
people
yeah,
get
of
wicked
course.
weird about this and say that it was America, it was the United Nations. Part of that's true. It was mostly Britain freeing them from being a colony to becoming a nation. Uh,
Right.
right,
And
and that's where you got to go. Wait, because it was a British colony,
Oh,
and they called it whatever they called it. It wasn't Palestine. But they're
who,
like, "Okay,
who?
finally, we're gonna let you have your land back." The
Palestine didn't
British did.
happen until 1963 or 1964. That's when it was first
Palestine's
created.
never
So
had the land,
we
ever,
know that
No.
already.
legally.
There was nothing there. Even when Mark Twain visited back in the late 1800s, he showed pictures. There was nothing there. It was barren. He says, "Look, like a bomb went off here." That's how terrible the place was back then. So yeah, nobody was there. Nobody owned the place back then. It was just no one cared. It was just desert, wasteland. So yeah, correct.
Okay, but as much ripping as I do on Britain, and I'm clearly not an Anglophile. All right, so I have my bona fides. I despise what the British did. Following 1812, and Edward, I'm still mad that you guys were on their side back then. That was your chance. Okay, all
I
right,
know.
but
I
they
know.
still, the Brits still remained active, trying to destabilize America in the Civil War. And I've got these chest thumpers from the UK on Twitter that go on about, oh, we stopped the overseas slave trade. I said, and then why were you on the side of the slave states in the American Civil War if your principles are so important?
Yeah.
Oh, they don't. I get blocked almost on that one almost immediately, and then if they don't, then I go on about Rotherham and the sex scandals with the Islamic grooming gangs and all the rest of that in the '05, '06, and all the rapes and all that. And I say, well, where were the British patriots then? Everybody just turned their head. You couldn't call the police because you'd get arrested. And I said, and Tommy Robinson
Prime
gets
example right
arrested
there.
gets arrested for pointing this out, and America elected Tommy Robinson president. That's the difference between the two nations.
Well, there's
Tommy
more than
Robinson got 2% in the EU parliamentary elections, and Trump is president. That's the difference between the United States and Britain. And
Yeah.
I listen, if that's too difficult for a UK patriot to understand and they want to go on about Manchester forever, whatever, that's fine. You guys have a glorious history. But I'm sorry, guys, you spit the bit. You're not a serious nation.
You know what? I can't say they were that glorious of it. Now, of course,
Some
my
of it,
family comes from there, but I'm just saying that they weren't that glorious of a nation. If you look at how the parliamentary system is set up, or I would call it the more communistic social system they have set up there, because it's anything but a free nation state. I'm going to tell you, they had the classes of citizens. They had the church at warfare with the citizens as well. Remember we talked about that, Sean, so this is not, when you say glorious state, I'm not thinking anything about the UK was that glorious at all. Even we'll go back to England. I'm not doing it.
okay, Edward, Mark Stein wrote a very trenchant series of articles about 15 years ago about the Anglosphere and talked about how Australia, the UK, the United States, India, these were the nations that were set to emerge successfully that had the tools that were necessary to build a modern society. And Hong Kong too. And New
Yeah.
Zealand. He absolutely gave credit to British influence for building those nations. What did he call it? The Foreign Office or whatever the hell it was. Well, they were able to administer this, and elements of it were fantastic for the locals. They equipped them with the tools they needed to sustain themselves. So I can't be completely down on them. What I can say is they've lost their will to go on.
I
I
would
mean, Keir
totally agree with
Starmer.
that, and actually, I want to add some more on that. So
Go ahead.
the Western Europeans as a people had the will and fortitude to create a new nation, which would be our nation. And they came here. There was no houses. There was no inns. There was
Nothing.
nothing. They lived on a boat. And no, this wasn't the Mayflower story. This is the William Bradford story of the first successful colony here. And they had to build their own. They had to forge everything with no tools, with the and they built the most successful nation in the world, and about 1619 is when that started. So everyone thinks America started in 1776. No, it started much before that. Yeah, we've got records. We've been looking at even back to the Vikings. Again, Eastern Europeans being in this land in the 1500s. It all the woke people will say none of that ever happened. You came over, you gave everybody syphilis. The Indians died because of your syphilis, right? And that's not true. If you actually walk through the whole story of how America was born, 1610 probably is about the right year to start looking at history books and understand why people were leaving Europe. It was because of the crown and the Church of England. They
Tyranny.
mandated religion.
Tyranny.
Yes.
Well, yeah.
Yes.
Hmm.
Tyranny. The
And
same
that's
thing
why.
they're trying. The same thing they're trying now. The
Mhm.
the history rhymes. I mean, they're still at it. They're still at it, and it's the same sons of bitches right now that are trying it now that were doing it back then. I mean, it's the same mindset. The World Economic Forum is inseparable from the British Crown back then. I really, that's what they are. Technocrats. The idea that
I
technology is
agree.
going to replace humankind so we can control it. That's what they're doing.
And this is the terrible thing I've been saying about the United Nations, WEF, and all the different branches it's got, because England supports them 100%. And they wonder why their country is the way it is. I'm thinking, people, how can you not know when United Nations is making up implementing your policy, not just making it up, but also implementing it through the members of the House. And you don't know why your country is the way it is with flooded out immigration and every. I mean, I can't believe the dumbness of the people. We're going through the same thing here. Australia's going through the same thing. America's got an onslaught of well, they're shipping theirs out. Hopefully, all of them to go back to a better balance. I don't know how you're going to do that because there's so many that came in with the Biden administration. It's embarrassing.
Edward, they're not all going to go. You know that.
Huh?
They're not all going to go. We're
Oh,
gonna
no.
get the crooks out of here, and another couple million, and then the other ones are gonna work their way into the economy. I mean, come
Yeah.
on, you know,
We have
it's not
all the
going to happen.
ones. I don't know how many millions we have that the government doesn't even know where they are. I'm thinking, how can you not know that? You let him in. I mean, you can track down $2.03 of their own income tax and where I spent it, and yet you can't find one of these people that it's just bizarre.
It was
You
not,
you
it's not bizarre. It's intentional.
Well,
you
yeah,
can
Intentional.
track you
it's
can
fake
track
tax.
a J6 Patriot to the tip of Alaska, and you can't figure out who these guys are.
Right?
Isn't
Right?
that just
Yeah.
yeah? That's just
It's intentional. It's absolutely intentional. Canada's doing it too.
embarrassing
Oh,
moments in Canadian history. Yes, absolutely,
Hey,
positively.
you guys are
So,
going to be Somali in 5 years if
ah,
you guys can't figure out how to change your government.
now, and this is what's going on right now. I don't even think we even have a leader of the country. We have this supposed leader called Carney, and they're making fun of us because he actually gave us a carney for this clown show we got going on right now, this carnival. And yeah, the head carney is supposedly leading this country to this. I don't know. It definitely is not going to be a promised land if they're backing somehow Palestine to be.
he scares me. He scares me, Edward, because
Oh, me too.
he's
He's
not
not even
nearly
a
as easy to
Canadian
mock as
citizen.
Trudeau. Yeah.
It's worse than Trudeau. It's not even a Canadian citizen. How do these people get to be, members of parliament or sitting members when they're not even Canadians? Like that, just for now. Granted, you can say it's a British subject, and that's how they, yeah, blah blah blah. But that's not really how the laws have morphed into where we are today. But still, I guess we're making exceptions because of the three passports. He's all of a sudden chosen. Well, Canada's my
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I can fulfill my World Economic Forum roots here in Canada. Yeah,
yeah.
and I look tame. Yeah,
The funny thing is, all these speeches he gives, he's, I'm going back to my own hometown in Edmonton, and then the next week, I'm going to my own hometown in someplace in Saskatchewan. I'm thinking, you don't even know where home. You've got all these different hometowns. What hometown did you come from? Like, obviously, he's making them up as he goes along. And
you want me to send a chill down your spine? He's
what's that?
Canada. He's Canada's Macron.
Oh God, Macron. Oh my God, yeah.
Totally
That's
agree.
that, that's their
Totally agree.
model.
They
That's
do
their
look similar.
model for everywhere. That's what they want to do. He's it. And I mean, I didn't think Polar was anything special. I thought he really fumbled a good opportunity, but I don't know. I mean, you can't get too Trumpy up there, I guess. I mean, he didn't even get Trumpy, and they still tarred him with the brush.
Well, but the problem with Poilievre is that he went to, at the very end, he went to I'll fight Trump too. I'm
Yeah,
going to be Canada first, which sounds great, but he said, I'm going to fight Trump on his tariffs.
and
No,
there's
you did. If Poilievre, you obviously you're making a political campaign speech, but you didn't understand what Trump was asking you for, Canada
No,
or any of these other countries.
you
You
know what?
didn't get it. And people bitch at me all the time about Trump's tariffs, and you could see out there today. Well, hold on, job numbers revised down, 14,000 new jobs. This,
right,
hold
right.
on,
Anybody believe that?
I don't
I mean,
believe it
come
for.
on. Oh, come
I don't
on.
believe it for a second.
He's
But
got a year to
here,
correct those
here's
numbers.
here's where we're going to go with that. Is what people don't get is, and we've said this before on this very podcast. Ford can't sell their most popular product, the F Series truck, to Germany, to
Right,
Japan, to you start naming nations. But we buy all kinds of German cars here, and Trump wants to equalize that. And he goes,
right,
fuck you. If you won't let Ford sell their best selling product, 35% tariff. I don't give a shit.
right. So now it's 15%.
Well,
Right.
there's already a 50% tariff on automobiles anywhere in the world, anyways. No matter what country it comes from, there's a 50% tariff no matter where it goes. That's an automatic World Economic, well, that's World Trade Organization, but that's just everywhere already known. So if you buy a Mercedes in America today, and it costs you say $70,000, it only costs 35,000 in Germany to begin with. So that's what you're paying as a tariff for the price of that car. I don't care what country it comes from; they're all doubled up. That's a 50% tariff on every car. That's just always been the way it's been since whenever. So yeah, that's why.
Since Edward, it's been that way since World War II.
Yes.
Now, can I sound more like a broken record?
No,
Everything's been like
it's
this
true
since
though.
World War II. Yeah,
From Bretton Woods. Well, actually, the World War One was the League of Nations. World War Two was United Nations. And yeah, so and the new Bretton Woods agreements, and then we went into Basel One, Basel Two, and now Basel Three. So yeah, absolutely. After World War Two, everything kind of morphed into where we are today. Just now, it's just being activated because time is right with technology, I guess.
I don't know that. No, I think it was always been activated. Here's where you got to look, Edward. Is that it was they planned on slow rolling it, and then when we got to the Obama era, they were going to be able to put the boots to the ground, so to speak. Thinking that Obama really opened all of this up into Marxism, and that Hillary Clinton
was
would
going to
be the
finish the job.
final job, finish the job, final nail in the coffin. And they could not. So when they saw their internal polling numbers that Trump was going to win, they produced false evidence of the Russia hoax. And they used that against him the whole time in legal lawfare.
Yeah,
And look, I know we're not going to see some of the stuff that we want to see, but somebody has got to go down for this.
Part
It's a
of the
coup. It
I
was
know.
a coup
It
against
sure was.
not
And
even Trump. No, no. Here's I got to make this point. This is a coup against the American voters. They're like,
right.
I don't understand why you're voting this way, and I hate you because of it. So I'm going to do everything I can to make your life miserable. And they don't hate Trump. They hate you, the American voter.
yeah, it's true.
And
Uh,
and Sean, I hate them.
Yep.
Well, I don't know if you can say hate, but yeah, there is a lot of stupidity that seems to flow with the libtard or the liberal mind thinking, which is basically no reasoning whatsoever. I can't believe some of the stuff I see posted and what people. I'm thinking, really, you got that from that? I mean, we're watching the same movie together. Like, come on, people. But yeah,
Can I do just a little riff on my current overwhelmingly favorite subject?
yes, go
Please.
ahead.
Medical care coming out of World War II. Same story. All right. Our scientists have been looking for time immemorial for the way to poison toxins out of our bodies. And the original studies for bacterial infection in the 30s and 40s in Great Britain, where this research was done, back when Great Britain was actually great. Okay, and I'll say it. There were just stay with me, boys. There were 6 petri dishes in the window of a lab, and they had lead, they had zinc, they had all these things that they thought might be active against bacteria, and none of them were really all that effective. The 6th petri dish was contaminated. And so they were getting ready to throw it out, and they looked in the petri dish, and the bacteria had been annihilated. And they're like, "Well, what is this?" Well, it's mold.
Hmm.
So then they studied it, and they named the mold penicillin. Right
Right.
now, right. The story is you don't poison germs or toxins out of the human body. You do what penicillin does, and you augment the human immune system to conquer those things that it conquers with ease when you're young, but as you age, you become less effective. With your immune system becomes less effective.
I can see
And
that. Yeah.
that's Edward Soon Shong's story. It's that right there. And what he's talking about, he even called it a vaccine at one point. I said, "Oh my God, don't call it a vaccine.
Yeah, do
Vaccine
not
is,
call it. Yeah.
no, it's totally discredited." So now it's a bioshield. But what it does is it takes those parts of human immunity that conquer toxins and disease and sepsis and all these other things that kill us, C. diff, MRSA, all of it, and it allows your body to regenerate what it had when you were younger and overcome it. That's what we're talking about. And the
You know,
only time Joe Biden had any interest in it was when his son was sick. But
Mhm.
once his son died, he didn't give a fuck. Okay, and Edward Soon-Shong never got a dime from the government. But remember, there's a crack in everything. That's how the light gets in. And Edward Soon-Shong was a biopharmaceutical pioneer. He sold 2 companies. He had $7 billion. So he funded it himself, just like Trump. He's the Trump of medicine.
you know,
That's
I, I,
you guys are hearing me, I can tell.
no,
Oh
no,
yeah.
it's cool. I love the
Yeah,
story. I love the guy. However, I got to say, it was the Canadians that invented penicillin, maybe under the flag of England back in the day, but it was in Canada. And number two, I think that
whatever.
Bushes were the ones that started the communist movement
You
there.
gotta take your glory where you can, Edward. I
That's you know,
understand.
and I'm doing it. I'm doing it. And as far
Mm.
as Obama went, I think the Bushes are the ones that started this path with the most destruction down the road to communism with all their new intel agencies after 9/11 started and everything. I think that was what gave a big help of the combination of information flowing from
Edward,
one agency to another. I think that,
Edward, Edward.
Yeah.
yeah,
No. Yeah, look, that's what you're gonna see posted, or at least we saw posted today all across social media. It goes back. So do you remember that our government murdered a president, John F.
Yes,
Kennedy?
yeah.
That
yes,
goes back to World War II, and they
yes, it
learned
does.
this intelligence from Germans.
Yes, yes. Hey, listen, we didn't only bring the Nazi rocket scientists over. We brought the Nazi doctors.
Yep.
Sorry, we not sorry, we did. And
I know.
Fauci's proud tradition is as a Nazi doctor. That's what he is.
Um, Sad and sorrowfully so. Yeah, that's you couldn't get any more blunt. But that's after the Second World War, Canada and America
Dude,
took in,
you
the
gotta
Russian and German.
no, get into it. Let's go back to 46, 47,
37, right?
48.
All right.
And start looking. So not only did they do, not only did that we do that, but then we also implemented what's called feminism in America, and it was
Right.
Rosie the Riveter,
Yeah.
and she needs a job too, even though the men came home. And so we've got 75, at least maybe 80 years of feminism. This was all imported Marxism. Even though we helped win the war, we
Sean,
imported.
Sean, you're so right, man. But look where it came from. And I'm gonna tie it all up in a nice little bow. And my pals, the Brits, are right there. Okay. Sorry, Edward. Here it comes.
No, go on.
When the British support of the South was not enough and they lost the Civil War, and they did,
Yeah.
they made a decision. We are sick and tired of fighting these assholes. They they beat our ass every time. They Andrew Jackson, those crazy fuckers, ride down to New Orleans and drive us into the sea. I mean, there's absolutely no lengths they won't go to beat our asses. So we've got to figure out what to do because they're getting really strong. We thought we might be able to divide them in the Civil War, but now what do we do? If we're going to be dominant, well, hey, let's co-opt their intelligentsia. Let's export this Fabian socialism over to the United States, and voila, we have the progressive era, and we have the special relationship, and we have Woodrow Wilson. And by the way, we need America anyway because we know we got to fight Germany. Same thing. That was their version of dominion status for the United States, was an influence op on our elites, and they totally fell for it, and they still fall for it to this day.
They
Wow.
still fall for it, no, move forward, about 40 years to Reagan. They still have Reagan doesn't know it. They still have this intel
Yes.
imported, and Reagan is trying to fight Russia. So the wall falls. Russia, like Reagan gets the wall to fall, but that war has never stopped. They have never stopped the Cold War,
Well, you
which
know,
drives me
One of
absolutely bonkers that you haven't just said Russia. I have pointed out so many times on this show that where Russia said, "Hey, we could be a trading partner. We could also be a massive defense partner with you guys," and you guys tell us to go fuck yourself.
the unknown story of the Civil War is when the British fleet was crossing the Atlantic to make the final decision as to whether they were to get into the war, because Gettysburg was, they're thinking that the South could make some inroads in that. Guess who they were met with? All of a sudden, the Russian fleet was parked
Right,
off the east coast of the United States, and the British saw the Russian ships and they turned around and went back. And
right.
to this day, they have hated Russia and seen them as a rival. And
yeah,
there, one of the MPs or one of the lords or whatever said the objective of NATO is to keep Germany down, the U.S. in, and the Russians out. That's the objective of NATO. They've
Well,
hated the Russians from the beginning. And I mean, Victoria Nuland is a fucking Trotskyite, for God's sake. She's pissed at the Bolsheviks.
uh-huh.
I mean, this blood stuff from the Bloodlands over there is just nuts, and we're
Well,
fucking around with it again. I mean, come on, guys. We're going to lose our asses over there. We just need to stop.
keep in mind that Russia won't bow down to the United Nations. It won't take in the Muslims. It
No,
won't worship, United Nations. It won't. Although it wanted to be, it could have been a member. It wanted to be a member back in the '90s. No, not allowed. And they keep dismissing them all the time. So yeah,
Putin asked Clinton if he could be a part of NATO, and,
yeah,
and Clinton
yeah,
said, "I'll get back to you." Made a few calls and said no.
yeah, that is correct. Because
yep.
they're outsiders, because they know that personality is that
Well,
white Anglo-Saxon type of personality,
no,
that
no,
ungovernable
no.
force.
It wasn't that. It was there was many other times. Putin was helping us fight the war on terror, and we had to separate ourselves from them because Bush was like Russia bad. And they were literally sending MiGs in while we were sending in F-16s to bomb whatever we can. The war in the Middle East was stupid, but to help us, and they're like, "Oh no, we got too close to Russian jets. We must refute Russia. Screw Russia. They're bad."
Yeah.
We
it's
need
this
we
whole
need to pull
thing.
our heads out of our asses and realize we need Russia to counter China.
We do very much
Yeah,
so.
We need Russia to
yeah,
counter the Muslim movement. That's what we need Russia for right
yeah.
now. We
I
can't be
mean,
standing alone.
he's
Huh?
he's plenty brutal enough to do it. You know,
I
he'll do
know.
what he'll wrap the sons of bitches in pigskin. You know he will.
I know.
Well, and everyone that says that Russia is weak,
Oh
I
God.
laugh at. Hold on, because I laugh at them because they're using Cold War era crap in Ukraine. They're like all of the new shit that they're building, they haven't used any of it. None. They've got like if they actually had to go to war with Joe Biden's America, could you imagine if he would have won again?
We'd
Uh,
lose. Yeah.
no, like yeah, no, they've got their weapons technology that they've gained from their relationship with China, their relationship with Iran to get materials, not to get in intel. They would have really great technology, and they probably do. And there's no way, like people think, oh, the United States could wipe them off the map. You got to realize this country covers 11 time zones.
Yes.
America covers 5.
It's huge. And you know what? Looking at the developments of Russia and what they've accomplished over even just the last 100 years, and remember the Cold War, remember the 70s, two huge superpowers going at it, Russia and United States. I don't know how people, maybe the newer generations don't know enough history. Maybe they don't know enough about what's going on or what transpired back there. I don't know. But yeah, just to so easily dismiss them is it's absolute silliness. So yeah,
I don't dismiss them. I know the U.S. State Department hates them because they believe in God.
Right?
another one,
Yeah.
yes. And
Right?
that's why
And
Russia's hated.
the U.S. State
Well,
Department is all.
Edward, no, Edward, we've literally talked about this on this program that
Oh yeah,
one of the reasons that Putin went in is because Zelensky was refusing and arresting and bombing the Russian Orthodox churches in Ukraine.
I know.
And
And
Zelensky, I mean Putin, sorry, said, "All right, fuck you guys," and he lined up 100,000 troops and tanks on the border and says, "Will you stop bombing my people?" And
because that's what I know.
Zelensky said, "Fuck no,
Yeah. And
bomb." He was
don't
bombed.
I've got
This is what
I've got
people don't
Victoria Nuland,
remember.
right? You're not, yeah.
He was bombing his own people
I
in
know.
Donetsk, Donbass, and Crimea.
And this is why, looking at Zelensky and this golden light they seem to have for this guy, not realizing that he was bombing his own people or supposed to have been his own people. And don't forget the execution of all the clergy from the churches either. You forget to mention that. That's murdering in cold blood. Because why? Well, because you don't think and believe the same as I do, because you represent a certain sect of people opposite to what I'm trying to push through. Now, is that a good reason? No, but that is dead communist right there. And I think that Putin, well, we can get into that conversation we had again, about the Muslim movement, but you have to include Hungary and Poland because they're not allowing any of them in either. They've closed the borders. They did the smart thing. We've been through this, seen it before. You're not getting in. You're not overrunning us. And that's why these nations are hated, because of that. So yeah, they're outcasts,
And the
and
globalists
here's
and the
another one.
globalists stole the election in Poland, and they stole the election in Romania. I mean, it time and again. I mean, they
Venezuela.
same old stuff.
Nope.
Old stuff.
And
They stole the election in Venezuela too.
yeah,
Did you guys catch the interview that Glenn Beck had like a candidate for him? And I'm no fan of Steve Deese. Okay, I mean, he's a drone,
well,
and
you know the guy.
I do find Sarah Gonzalez to be interesting because I find her to be attractive. She actually seems a little bit smart, but I'm not a Glenn Beck guy. I can't stand Stu. He's a moron. I can't imagine the guy keeps his job. But be that as it may, he had a candidate for him, and he was smart enough to do what Vivek suggested at the debate. And he had Tucker Carlson ask the question, and he got Mike Pence one on one, and started saying, "Well, you're a faith leader in the United States, Mike." Well, yeah, Christian values. Yeah, absolutely. I know you really stand on that, Mike. He says, "What about the condition of the Christian church in Ukraine?"
Mm-hmm.
You could have heard a pin drop.
Do you realize the work that I can't remember the guy's name now, member of parliament, that the money and the work they put into trying to turn the churches against the mega movement and Trump and go with the Democrat. Yeah,
Democrat. I know. Yeah,
the-
you spit it
yeah,
out, Edward. We
I was
all
gonna
do.
say New Democrats, but that's here, not there. But the Blues Democrats and so many churches fell for that. But I wish I could remember the name of that Christian paper, news that magazine too, because he is the actual editor and chief of that.
Well, well,
But
Oh,
anyways,
you
that
remember?
guy's an
You
absolute
remember
monster. What's that?
up in Iowa? Up in Iowa, you remember Bob Vandergrifter? You know,
No.
and how DeSantis had to give him like $100,000 to get his endorsement. I mean, I did not have the discrediting of all influencers on my bingo card for 2025, but I have to tell you, that's been one of the most satisfying aspects of this year. I mean, it's great, but it actually
I
started
love
with
it. I
the
love it.
the wrestling match for the Bob Vandergrifter endorsement in Iowa, you know, and DeSantis just prostrated himself like the little whore that he is, you know. And I'm not saying he's not useful. I don't demand that politicians be perfect. I think Ron is a fine governor, and
I
I
do
think he
too.
does a decent job in
Yeah.
Florida. But he's not a chief executive for the United States. He can't wear the shoes, and he even kind of admits it with all those boot lifts and all that shit. You know, he tries to be taller. I mean, it's like Josh Shapiro. I mean, DeSantis is the Josh Shapiro of Florida. I just
And you know
That's
what?
fair.
He doesn't have to be taller. He could just be him. But if he could have
right.
withstood the fire and the flames from the opposition, he would have been okay. But I don't think he'd make it through. I don't think he could
Well, it's-
stand up to it like Trump could, because
no,
Trump just got that
even
personality, that
he
whole.
couldn't even stand up to one question from Carlson. He had him on a show on Fox, and he asked him, he said, "What about the war in Ukraine? Is that a border dispute, or is that whatever?" And DeSantis said it was a border dispute. I'm like, okay. I said, I actually might have to look at him. You know, he's younger. He seems smart. You know, et cetera, et cetera. Within 24 hours, he walked it back and called Putin a war criminal. And someone
Ah,
said to me, "Oh, why does that matter?" I said, "Are you kidding?" I said, "His phone lit up with the powerful, and he's sucking ass with the war machine." I said, I want no part of the guy. You
which
Yeah,
know,
is why he makes a great governor, and not,
great. No,
he's a great.
no,
He is a great governor. He's a
he
great
is,
governor. He's not likely to be president
and
ever.
he could actually be a great cabinet secretary. He could,
yeah,
Absolutely.
I
yeah.
agree too. But
Probably
I still
Navy.
think,
Probably Navy secretary, something like that. He'd be
Maybe
great.
even Health and Human Services. He's done a good job on healthcare down there. Obviously,
Yes.
the vaccine's a little bit of a blind spot, but overall, he's a good manager and he's organized and he's smart. But
yeah,
he's
I
not a
agree.
leader.
Super
He's not
smart.
a leader. He's not a
Super
Well,
leader.
smart. Well, okay.
not for
All right.
entire
So,
news.
all right. So I gotta. We started with this. Let's go into
By the
this
way,
one.
one last thing, Sean, before you go on. That's why you don't even see DeSantis in these polls.
Nope.
Just think about it.
No,
No, no,
it
and you're
ain't
not
gonna.
going to.
It's not
There's
gonna
absolutely
happen.
no support. Yeah, he's a
It's not gonna
spent
happen.
force. All right, go ahead.
All right, so I got. I'm gonna go back to. I want to get into the Sydney Sweeney thing one more time because it's
No,
Friday.
no, 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 no.
Again,
Whoa,
This-
hold on.
the-
I've got a video.
Sound the alarm. Trump just brought back the presidential fitness test. Yes, the one that traumatized an entire generation of kids for years. Because nothing says child health policy like a millionaire golfer who hits balls into the sun. Trump signed an executive order reviving the old school one-size-fits-all test that includes push-ups, pull-ups, shuttle runs, and the infamous smile. It was scraped over a decade ago for being outdated, discriminatory, and humiliating for a lot of students. Now it's back, and so is the Reagan-era obsession with performance over wellness. But that's not all. Trump also held a White House photo op with professional athletes to mark the occasion. This isn't about kids. This is about optics and distraction. And let's be real, if the goal was to promote actual health, we'd be talking about funding for recess, nutrition programs, and mental health, not turning gym class into a boot camp with a MAGA seal of approval. This isn't a health initiative. It's a culture war stunt dressed in gym shorts. I'll be breaking this story down further on my Patreon and Substack. Both links are in the bio.
And of course, our Patreon and our Substack are subscribe only. All right, I'm gonna get some money, but listen to that video. You got a blonde-haired, blue-eyed, white chick saying that Trump is a racist He's a Nazi. Wait, what?
Sean, her eyebrows give her away. She's not a
Listen, but this is the common theme.
Listen, she wasn't even wearing a push-up bra. I mean, come on, girl, get with it.
This is yes, but this is the common theme that is coming out with the American Eagle, Dunkin' Donut ads, like whatever. Is it? Oh my God! You promoted a white guy. You're obviously Nazis. And we all laugh. I'm just laughing. I'm laughing.
Sydney Sweeney doesn't eat donuts.
No.
Yeah, apparently she wears jeans. So, and I'll tell you, fellas, I saw on the internet. There's supposed to be some sort of MAGA gathering at American Eagle stores tomorrow on Saturday. I don't believe that to be true, but I'm going to go to one close to me, and if there is, I'm going to show up and I'll videotape if there's a line. I'll just go live.
Yeah,
I could go live here on Rumble.
And you absolutely should share that clip with us in our next show.
Absolutely.
The Bill O'Reilly thing. Absolutely. Yes, do it. Go on live.
And if you see, by the way, you have my permission. If you see Lizzo there or Oprah in their American Eagle jeans, you can skip. You can leave that on the editing floor.
Just cut it out. Just cut it out.
Yeah, I don't want to see that. No, but I'm actually quite glad and happy that they do have other people besides the traditional, East Asian, Indians, Pakistanis.
No. You're not talking about what it really was. It was fat black and brown people. That's what we've been seeing.
I forgot about that.
You can't fat shame. You can't fat shame, Edward. You're a fat shamer.
That's exactly what's I forgot all about that crowd because it's always been the overweight ones too.
I saw you giving Richard Levine's ass a second look. I did see that. Looks so great in his Navy outfit, right? Named the Man of the Year. Got a what? Babylon Bee booted off Twitter.
Oh my God!
We're so far away from that. Just come on, just enjoy them. My God.
I guess what blows my mind is that every video I see of bitching women from the internet about American Eagle also have blonde hair and blue eyes.
Yes.
I was like, really? Have you really been propagandized? Have you believe that you shouldn't be around? That only black and brown women should be around?
Yeah, I don't get that.
Wow.
I know.
Look, call it the Bill Ackman effect, okay? All right? Let me tie this together. Bill Ackman subsidized white hatred at Harvard for decades. Millions upon millions of dollars. And then, much to his chagrin, found out that the Pallies and the rest of the gang considered Jews to be white. So all of a sudden, you're a colonizer, Bill, and now he's a Trump supporter. When they come for your ox, it wakes you up. Now, these girls, they are victimized by that same educational system, that same anti-white hatred that's been preached in the Ivy League and everywhere else and subsidized by millionaires and billionaires for years. And I'm actually not willing to give Ackman a free pass or to love him or whatever. I mean, I'm happy he's not spending heavily to dunk us anymore. But at the same time, I'm like, how did you think this was going to turn out, bro? Did you really think that Jews would get an exemption because they're kind of brown? I mean, give me a break, man. What did you learn from the Third Reich? Or did you learn anything?
these being so liberal minded, they don't think things through anyways. They don't see an end to what they're doing really. I mean, their end and what they think, but it's so diametrically opposed to everybody else's. They can't see that that's not going to match, and that's just not going to be the way things are going to turn out. But they can't. They don't have the forethought for that, though. I don't know what it is.
But all of a sudden, some of their friends, Jewish kids, are barricaded in a classroom at a university, and there's a bunch of people banging on the door trying to burn the place down and want to kill them. And all of a sudden, it's like, oh shit, we're white. God. I mean, really, there's an element of it that's hilarious, but at the same time, it's just a statement on the futility of the human race. And I'll stop there.
or the universities, more accurately.
Well, it's just groupthink, Edward.
No,
I mean,
Edward.
Harvard University governs Canada. You know it, man. Sorry,
Yep.
I'm not trying to get
No,
your face on it, but it's the same thing.
Dynamics of
right.
people, right there. I agree.
And then you take the universities back to post 1950 and look at where the West has gone. So again, it starts with feminism, but that feminism draws in Marxism. And
Always.
we can walk this thing all the way through. We can dog walk it all the way. But yeah, no. Like Edward, your country, sorry, colony, colony,
your colony.
sorry, it obviously is in a way worse condition than our country because we had Trump as a stop block.
I know,
right? A stopgap.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for Trump,
we
the
were
whole
done.
world is fucked.
I know.
No.
That's why he had to get in. The guy had to succeed, or the world was finished as we know it. Because you can't visualize a world without the U.S. in it. You can't.
And Edward,
if you could, it's not good news.
At 11:30 on election night in 2016, it was still in doubt.
I know.
Just think about it. You talk about the razor's edge.
I know. I was so happy, looking at the Democratic Convention Center. Everybody was so quiet and everything, and thinking, "Yeah, that's great news right there." Oh, love that. Just loved it.
The people, though, they voted for a specific thing, and Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama tried to kill it. That's what you're seeing come out in the news right now.
Absolutely, that's what came out. But you mentioned something earlier. You mentioned Obama, and he really did open the floodgates. He did it through the weaponization of government. The civil service was never this way, even under Bush. And Edward, to go back to the first Bush, he was CIA, so he was a rat bastard too. All right, just to tie that together. In fact, the years after Reagan were the years of Tweedledee and Tweedledum politics until Trump. Okay, everyone else was just basically the same. You give Clinton a little bit of credit because he was poll driven and he knew how to save his own ass. That's fine. All right, good for him.
True.
But he still got China. He still got China in the WTO and screwed our middle class. So it's a mixed bag. But yes, he was better than Obama. I mean, you would be better than Obama, okay? But the thing is, Obama opened the door to the World Economic Forum types who were previously working with McConnell and the Bushes. Yeah. I'll admit that. They switched sides because they realized that the Democrats would not hesitate with tyranny and totalitarianism. And that's where everything started to circle the drain. And Matt Gaetz will tell you, well, I mean, we don't get the money from these people and everybody in the room is just trying to figure out how we can get it back. I'm like, fuck you guys. Like,
right?
Do you represent your voters at all?
No.
And the answer is no. We can't cut one dime of spending. For God's sake, cutting CPB. Oh, and by the way, I know they could never cut it until Bill Moyers was dead. So that must have been what did it. And God, I hated that guy. What a sanctimonious jackoff. But there's so many people like him in the Washington elites.
Majority of it.
The point being that the real ominous stuff started to happen when Obama courted the World Economic Forum people onto the side of the Democrats. That's when things got real. Because the Republicans were never going to do what they wanted. They're too feckless. In
Yeah.
fact, I chide Democrats all the time. Oh, they're bitching about Tillis. Well, Tillis folded on Emma Bovey. I said, guys, I went broke counting on Senate rhinos to stand up. Welcome to the club.
Right.
Tillis doesn't have any convictions. His loyalty is to Tillis. He's on Tillis's team. He doesn't give a fuck about you. Anyway, all right.
And you know what? I think it started to come apart at the seams when everybody started to realize that Obama was a total fake. Everything he said he was when he first got elected turned out to be false. You know, he wasn't a Christian. He was a Muslim. He wasn't born in America. And I love the birth thing that Trump started. I love that. I was having the best time of my life back, what was that, 2011, 22? I don't know. We're around there somewhere. I was just loving that. So he wasn't even an American citizen. We find out everything the guy was. He was straight. No, he's gay. Now, people don't know that, openly.
Oh,
right
no,
now.
he's a total faggot. Yeah,
everyone knows that. Everyone knows that.
Yeah, but I'm just saying he was
only Larry Sinclair knows for sure. Yeah.
So I think when America started figuring out that the guy was just
an absolute powerful episode of Tucker.
What's that?
Larry Sinclair was on Tucker. That was pretty powerful. He said, "Yeah, I totally sucked his dick."
Yeah.
I've done it more than once.
Yeah, paid him to suck him off in the back of a cab. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, he even came up to my apartment, my shitty little apartment, did meth with me, and then I sucked his dick.
Yeah.
So for the networks that we're on, this is all totally available out there. We're not doing anything that hasn't already been said. Yeah, Larry Sinclair sucked Obama's dick several times, and there was meth involved.
And back in the days of Drudge, he would have broke the story, but he abandoned ship on us.
Oh, he sure did. By the way, there's a guy in Columbus, Indiana, by the name. He goes by. I'll remember it in a second. But he runs. Oh, Citizen Kane. And he runs Citizens Free Press.
Yeah.
Without the S. Great guy, awesome guy. He hangs out with some of the cool kids. I really don't pay attention to that. I don't give a shit. Whether you hang out with Roger Stone or whether you hang out with Steve, I don't give a shit.
No, he was a Lou Dobbs guy. So I mean, he was really true.
Yeah. I like Lou Dobbs. Yeah. I was a Lou Dobbs fan. Love the guy.
Lou's the best.
Huh?
He posts good links. So to the Citizen Free Press fans, I'm here with you. It's good. It's a great website.
Fantastic. Could not endorse it more.
Which is why, again, we're curmudgeons, every one of us. So
we're trying to keep the other curmudgeon alive. I'm going to check in on him after the show. I'm worried that we haven't seen him. I wanted to see his face. I saw his oxygen sat was up. That was good. I mean, he just got to hold on until tomorrow.
Yeah, dude, 88's fucking low.
I know, but it's better than 84. Shit, I thought he was going to be. All right.
Yeah.
I saw that. I'm like, oh my God.
Let's do that offline. Let's close this one out, boys. We had a good time. I don't know if we conquered the world or saved anybody's health, but maybe we did. Let's close it out.
Hopefully, we'll convince Canada to declare independence.
Dude, if I could tell Canadians anything, it's that you have never declared independence. I don't care what your 1984 thing is.
People don't understand that.
I don't give a shit. You're a colony of the United Kingdom. So,
but Edward, all your libtards hate colonists. Can you convince them that they're a colony?
I've tried, and they hate my guts. We argue nonstop. What about 1982? I said, "Yeah, that meant nothing. It's nothing. It was just all for optics. It doesn't really mean anything." But they don't really
Virtue
get that.
signaling. Yeah, I know.
Uh-huh. Sean, you know the spaces I've been in, even the fights and everything that I get. I just hate it, but I don't care. I still got to push the real news, the reality through. That just like you said, it's true. They just don't want to hear the truth because it hurts their feelings because they think they're. I don't know. I have no idea what they're thinking, but
Well, no. They've been okay, and of course it hurts their feelings. Their Facebook and the TV channels in Canada all tell them that they're an
I know.
independent country.
Yeah, guess who's paying for that?
It's propaganda.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Right?
That's this is
So,
what we could get a whole show about this. By the way, just the attitude, the very disposition of Canadians today, and I shouldn't say all. That's not true. No, but a good many of them. That is true about. So yeah.
that's worth 100% tariff right there.
That's
Well,
right.
yeah, and you know what? And Trump's got something there. We're going to close out. Trump's
Right.
got something there by increasing tariffs on Canada with this whole Palestine thing
And rightfully so. Rightfully
Carnival
so.
Carney.
Yeah.
They fucking tariff them to death
Yep.
until they comply.
I'm totally in favor of it.
Until they
Of course.
comply.
Surrender. Yeah.
Until they go
Like,
broke.
if you want to be our neighbor, be our neighbor.
Yeah,
If
and
you want
act,
to be our
act
enemy,
sensibly. I agree.
1,000% tariff.
Yeah.
Western Hemisphere. Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
Canada to Greenland.
We can open chalk later.
Panama.
We gotta go. We gotta go.
All right.
Bye.
All right, good night, everybody.
All right. Thanks, guys. That was rather spirited. Has anybody heard anything from Paul?
Yeah, could you imagine if Paul would have been